Well, I wasn't ready to record tonight, as you can probably tell by the general everything I've got going on around me. I was just about to go to bed. It's 12:05 here. Um, Story's just broken in 49ers world that Brandon Aiyuk has probably played his last snap for the team. Now, I've kind of hinted that I think this is possible a couple of times recently in my various columns for Sidelinr Sports and Niner Noise. But it would appear that what I thought is now coming to fruition. There's a report out from Mike Silver and I can't remember Diana Rossini is the other person on the byline, suggesting that the 49ers avoided guarantees in Aiyuk's contract because he's failed to fulfill his contractual obligations. He's failed to attend meetings, declined to participate in team activities, and basically nuts and bolts. It means that he'll be free to leave at the end of the season without much damage to our salary cap, and basically will allow him to go anywhere. It seems Aiyuk hasn't contested this. He's not filed a grievance with the NFLPA, which some players probably would. In this situation, I can think of a time in 49ers history where Terrell Owens filed a grievance against the team for something similar, and it ended with him being shipped to the Eagles for basically next to nothing. Um, Although next to nothing is now what we're going to get for Aiyuk, it would seem. Um, he'll be leaving for nothing. Am I surprised? No. Every week we've heard, oh yeah, his practice window's about to open. His practice window's about to open. It never does. He's been out for over a year. He wasn't great when he did play last year. There's been that whole social media drama. I'm not even mad. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of it all. Brandon Aiyuk, decent football player, played very well for a season and a half. Wanted a lot of money. I don't think the 49ers ever wanted to give him a lot of money, if I'm being completely honest. Um, in much the same way, I don't think we really wanted to give it Debo Samuel, knowing this style of play. We gave both of them contracts, and it would appear that we're going to be out of both of them within 2 years of the deal being signed, which is a horrible look, but in all honesty, as how the deal worked out, Samuel was never the same player. Aiyuk was awful last season in an awful season, and then blew his ACL. I think I think he thinks he's a much better player than he actually is, and I think he's going to discover that when he moves on to pastures new. I don't think he's a bad player by any means, but the deal never sat right with me. I've never been a big Aiyuk fan, if I'm being completely honest. And this isn't recency bias. You can check anything I've said in any of my columns over the last 2, 3 years. I've never been a particularly big Aiyuk fan. I was always a Debo guy. Um, that didn't work either, and I'm not excusing that. Debo got fat and lazy, but I just didn't like Aiyuk's attitude during the negotiation. I haven't liked his attitude since the negotiation, and if the story's true that he's not been attending meetings and activities in, preparation to return to the field, I can see why we've given up. We don't need that. Um, does that mean we need a wide receiver going into next season? Yes, probably. All these things are going to have to be worked out. I'm going to have to sit down and I'm going to have to think about it. I'm going to have to write something for Sidelinr, possibly Niner Noise in the next couple of days, try and make sense of all this. But on my overriding feeling at the moment is one of boredom. I'm sick of drama. I'm sick of everything that surrounds the 49ers. I'm sick of the fact that most of it has surrounded Brandon Aiyuk for the last 18 months. So if he wants to play somewhere else, I say good luck to him. Anyway, keep an eye on my pages. You might see some articles about this in the coming days, or you might just see me ignore it. Frankly, I'm sick of talking about wide receivers for the 49ers who think they're better players than they are. I'm happy enough to stick with the likes of George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, Christian McCaffrey, guys that seem to love this team and have given their all for it over the last few years. And I'm happy to go through the rest of the season without Aiyuk anyway. It would have been a bonus if we'd had him back, possibly, but if he ain't coming back, that's fine. We got some work to do to find a replacement, and I suppose we've probably got some work to do to allay the slight reputational damage that giving out two big receiver contracts followed by, basically getting out of them does. But having said that, we signed McCaffrey, Trent Williams, George Kittle, and Brock Purdy to big extensions, and they're all still here. Fred Warner's still here. Nick Bosa's still here. Some of these players need to look at themselves, and I think Aiyuk is person number one. Anyway, that's my thought. I'd be interested to hear yours, and we'll see what happens in the next few days. We got the Panthers coming up. That's bigger than anything to do with this bullshit. So until I see you again, go Niners.